Hey, Unpaid Lunch listeners, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and ad-free as a Prime member on Amazon Music. Find us on social medias and YouTube at Unpaid Lunch. On your break today, we're back in studio with a doctor's excuse for calling out. Rhino still hates refs, and this show almost becomes a wrestling podcast. All right, time to clock out for lunch. Welcome into Unpaid Lunch, and thanks for spending your break with us. I'm Heavy D. Rhino is here. He's going to get to talk tonight because Eric's not here.
Oh, God. That's why we were out last week. I needed a mental brain break to recover from fucking Korea.
Yeah, we're the only ones here tonight. It's super fucking weird. We're recording in the middle of the night.
And I am going to apologize because my voice is shat.
You got like this midnight, like you're supposed to be on at midnight, but you're supposed to be on the radio doing like love songs.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rasp.
I actually think you could do it like right now.
Probably could.
You sound like this is
Rick D's.
Rick D. One
After he's had 4 friggin' cartons of cigarettes.
Love hits 100.
85 years old with scruff beard.
People listen to the radio?
Dude, I did the other day and it was weird.
This is like a radio show, but
it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, right. Commercials. You're like, what are these? They're not like, and they're different commercials. They're like people yelling their commercials, like cable television, are different than ads.
Yeah.
Do we just call all commercials ads now?
See, me and my son had this conversation the other day. I said commercial, and he said, "What's that?"
Yeah. Well, they're different. Don't you feel like they're different commercials and ads?
I mean, yeah.
I guess not. But
Same thing.
I just think about if you record a sales pitch commercial with all of your staff and no actual actors, that's a commercial.
Oh yeah.
It's just like that's a how do they do that?
I mean, it's all product and ad placement. I don't know.
So we don't have a topic tonight.
Oh, I've got one. I've engineered one out of it because basically it's just been the last 48 hours.
Scratch it, reverse it. It's funny because we were going to do...
stop apologizing for clearing my throat. Guys, you're just along the ride for this. I'm going to be all the whole show.
That's fine.
It is what it is. I screamed at a 12-year-old child for 8 hours straight yesterday.
Well, we tested we're testing our fandom because if people are still listening after the Super Show, I don't.
Yeah.
That's impressive that if people are listening.
I didn't even want to be on the show anymore after being on the Super Show.
He's like, I was talking to you about editing the episode and saying stuff about it, and you were like, yeah, that's fine. I don't give a fuck.
You're like, hey, what do you think about this? I don't care.
You do whatever. Cut everything I said. And don't.
I said, put it into 2 parts. That way I actually have an additional week to recharge from that.
Yeah.
No, so... I didn't tell you anything about this story yet. I was going to wait until I got here because I think it'd be funny. But
for the content.
It kind of all ties in together because God knows, if you've listened to previous episodes, God knows Ryan Johnson loves him some referees.
No, referee problems.
So, yesterday, State of Kentucky Youth Wrestling State Championship for 6U, 8U, 10U, 12U.
It's a lot of amateur
refs
for you.
So they put down, it was either 12 or 14 mats, and then they take these mats and split them in half. It was 14 because there's 28 total. Yeah. They split them in half and make one mat into 2. Keep in mind, this is with some 14-year-old children that are grown-ass.
That's what I was going to say, and it really is not big enough.
It's not big enough. So we start off the morning block. It's 8U, 10U. All right, we got 3 kids in the morning block. And then we got 5 in the afternoon. We have 1 kid. I don't know that his mom and dad listens to this show, but they are very, very, very local, near and dear to our hearts. But kid's a stud. Like, the kids always love baseball, and you can tell. And I think he just kind of fell into wrestling this year.
Yeah.
When he did. Like, he is, God built Calvin Johnson to be an NFL wide receiver. This little boy was built to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
He is friggin' ripping through kids, dominated the whole entire year. 1 region, first year wrestling, 1 regional championship. Here he is in state. And he draws the hardest match. Like, you looking at his brackets, they don't seed for state like they should. Draws literally the second best wrestler in the state of Kentucky in the first round.
Sure, and he's got like 10 matches or 12 matches or something.
Wrecks him. Like, not our kid. Our kid wrecks the number 2. We're
oh, really?
We're through this. This is easy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Second, no, it's about the third round. So for those that are not familiar with folk style wrestling or youth wrestling or anything like that, there is a thing called a tech fall. So everybody knows in wrestling what a pin is, essentially. Even people that don't watch wrestling knows what it means to pin somebody. But basically, as you work through the sport, there's different ways that you can receive points over the course of a match. Now, if at any point you get up, and this amount is different in different tournaments, but in this tournament it's 15, it's called a tech fall. At some point you're up 15 points, you automatically win the match. It's basically a mercy rule.
Yeah.
Moving towards the end of the second period, our boy is up 12-0. Like, wrecking this kid. Beat the same kid at region. All of a sudden, like, going back a few steps in the conversation here where I told you the mats were split in half. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the match, all of a sudden you see a bunch of kids start tumbling, rolling over top of each other, flip over onto our mat while our kid's getting ready to pin the other one, takes the heel of a freaking wrestling shoe right and gets kidney punched. And you just see him go like the wind just leaves his body. They stop the match. He gets up. He can't breathe, crying, not even making audible sounds, can't bend over. We're only allowed to give him X amount of time. He goes back out on the mat, can't breathe, can't move. Up 12-0, and the other kid just flops him on his back and pins him. Can't defend himself. So this referee was very gracious. He's like, this is the way the tournament's set up. There's nothing that I can do. And I was like, I understand. He's really good there, kid. Like, down on that end of the arena, these referees are senior guys. The guys have been doing it for years. So, I mean, he even came back to us later on. He said, I know this kid's going to wrestle for third. He's going to get third, but he was the best kid in this tournament today. So it was really deflating for the kid, for one. But then and my kid was wrestling through the whole entire thing during this portion. He was bloodlust hungry. He was really wanting to try to win state championship.
He looked awesome.
Third. Oh, it's the best he's ever wrestled. He went 5-1. Only match he dropped was to the state champion. So we were pumped. We move into the evening session. So in the evening session, one of the wrestlers, he has quit twice this week. God love his heart, or over the last 2 weeks. At one point, I literally had to go and dig all of his attire out of a trash can.
He threw it away.
He threw everything away. And what sucked too is it wasn't just like in an open face trash can. He threw it in one of the like floppy door ones, so I had to flop the door up and stick my head in there through skull spit and everything, get this kid's shoes, headgear, knee pads out. So his dad is one of the other coaches on the team. Me and him basically said, all right, let's make a deal. You take my kid, I'll take yours.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I said, I'm not a wrestling coach. I don't know anything about wrestling, but your kid's been wrestling for 5 years. I will throw slight pointers out there and we'll just go with it. But at least this way, he doesn't quit on you in the first match of the tournament. If he quits, he's quit on himself.
Yeah, which is...
I love the kid, but you know, he's got some anger issues, which all of them on our team have.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's part of the game.
Oh yeah, I mean it's wrestling. There is no emotional stability on those.
The best ones have some anger issues. It's fun.
God, yeah. Oh, you want them to kind of to do. Yeah. So he goes out in his first match, and looking at the bracket, like usually even at the state tournament, like I was pulling up spreadsheets and looking at data and stuff, and like there's kids like 1 win, 16 losses, stuff like that. I'm like, you know, there's gonna be some easy matches, there's gonna be some tough matches. Not in this kid's bracket. Jesus Christ, it was just everything. Person in this damn thing is Bruno Sammartino. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
If you don't know who that is, it's the longest reigning
the god
heavyweight champion
until Roman Reigns fucks it all up.
Fuck Roman Reigns.
Fuck Roman Reigns. We want Cody.
Speaking of wrestling, shameless plug God. Listen to the Show in Color podcast. It's a new podcast we started. It is from Team T4, so that's us. And It's with Wes has been on the show, and Wayne is with us. I don't know who's going to be. I'm doing a wrestling podcast. There's going to be people there every week. Wes will probably be there. Wayne will be there. Rhino's going to be here some. He won't talk about anything with WWE, but he's going to be here. And then Clay's going to be on the show too, because Clay didn't have a mic last week, and he was super mad about it.
You should have gave him a mic.
I did. I was like, "You want a mic, man?" Because he knows
going to be 10 times more.
He knows more about modern
Wes.
wrestling. Fuck. He knows more about modern. That's what Wes didn't listen to the show. He knows more about modern wrestling than I do. Clay does.
Yeah.
Like, because he watches TikTok all day, and when he watches TikTok all day, and his TikTok is just wrestling.
That's what I do.
Yeah, and he knows the shit.
Yeah.
I have to work.
Freaking dirt sheets and all
Look,
that.
you guys, not really.
But like I said, this kid's bracket was Murderer's Row. And right off the bat, first match, he drops at 3-0. Well, they can pin him at 3-0. Like, he's wrestling, I think it was 12U, 74 pound. And, I mean, he's not the biggest kid in the world, but he's super skilled. Like, so advanced skilled. But these kids were like 2 and 3 inches taller. Like, you could clearly see.
And he's wrestling the refs, too.
Cut arms and stuff. He wasn't yet. So, loser's bracket. Keep in mind, that was one of the big things in the state of Kentucky this year is in the past, if you had 45, 50, 60 kids in the same weight, same age, they broke it up into a pod A, pod B, pod C. Well, a bunch of mommies and daddies were like, well, if there's 84 A, B, and C, there's not a true state champion. My baby's not the real state champion. They done one bracket.
With that one bracket with that many people is insane.
42 kids in this kid's bracket. Dude. One bracket.
That's insane.
All right. The way this works out. Now, obviously, right off the bat, you know there's going to be a shit ton of buys, right?
Yeah.
To progress to the second round. Now, if you get to that second round, you need to rack off about 3 wins to get to the semis. So 4 wins put you in the finals. Doesn't sound bad.
That's still a lot.
If you lose, in some circumstances, you had to wrestle up 9 to 10 total matches in the day to work it back out to get to third place.
Because the loser bracket.
Because it was so big.
I'd just go home if they lost 2.
Well, if they lost 2, they were out.
Right. Okay.
So if you lose 2, you're out unless you are in that in the semis of the consolation. They had a 5th, 6th place match. So if you lost there, trying to go to 3rd, 4th.
I bet they change that next year.
There's already ideas being kicked around. Like right now, the regional tournament means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've started talking about is actually provide. And now this is something that will probably come up in coaches' meetings in the spring. They're like, what if we do, let's say, the top 4 or even the top 6 at region go to a go bracket? You say that gets you close to having like 24 or 30, or say it's 6 regions. Let's say if you do 6 people out of the top
how good you do at region
6
matter,
regions, they go to a gold tier, gold standard bracket, and they actually compete for a true state champion.
Right.
Now, everyone that wasn't in the top 6 and all your newcomers and everything else, you put them in a amateur state championship bracket.
That way you have to do good at region and state.
And that way they're not losing the money too. Because let's get real. They had 1,500 kids there this weekend. Each kid was $30 to register. It's $45,000.
Dude.
So then on top of that,
we should host a wrestling tournament.
Yeah, really. $20 for mom and pop to get in. For not together. Each person's $20 to get in. So let's say
that's crazy. Why is it that much?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
A large soda was $7.
Dude, that's arena like $20. You can see like
$20 with no seating.
You can see like Buck Cherry for $20.
They had 8 bleachers. 8 bleachers. Okay. And they were ground level.
Yeah, that's right.
With people standing around the rails. It was a shit show. But let's say you had 1,500 wrestlers, and let's be, I don't know, judicious here and say each kid brought 2 parents.
Right.
Now, some kids brought like 6 family members. Well, let's say you have 2 adults come with each kid at $20. We done the math on that. That was an additional $60,000.
Yeah.
So at a bare minimum, just off wrestlers and 2 parents, is about $100,000 is what they made just for the youth tournament. There's a middle school tournament the day before. So
and concession.
Mm-hmm. And apparently a lot of the workers were volunteer work. So
get fucked.
But then I
That's
was
awesome.
talking to a couple people. I'm like, man, they're making a kill, and they're like, they really don't make as much as you think they do. I'm like, you got me shitting me. They're like, no, that tournament we hold at the Expo Center at Pikeville. I was like, yeah. They said 2-day tournament, right? I said, yeah. They said, how much do you think the ice cost for that tournament? So I don't tell me. They said $4,000. Ice was $4,000
Yeah.
for a weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, cost, but fucking, I mean, like,
They said each day for the I think they call it Kentucky Convention Center, whatever it is, it's $15,000 a day just to rent that floor.
Yeah.
So that's $30,000. But that's either way, here or there. We were talking about big brackets. He drops first match, so he's going to have to wrestle like 7-8 matches to get out.
Yeah.
Well, it starts getting to the point where we're getting to the end of the day, too, where they're wanting these kids to wrestle almost back to
back and shit, yeah.
At one point, he wrestles 5 matches in an hour.
Yeah, I seen his mommy upset.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Well, we get towards the back end of it. He is going into the consolation semis. The kid has battled his guts out. Here I am over here. I don't have a freaking idea what's going on. Just screaming at him.
And you got him because he's got your kid.
Like, yeah. So I have no voice. Like, we draw a 16-year-old kid as a referee at the state tournament.
Cute.
Cole gets drugged down, gets taken down out of bounds after the clock goes to 0. Kid holds up 2 points for the other kid. We're like, clock's out, dude. And it was out of bounds. They were clearly out of bounds before it hit. He goes over, talks to the table worker, comes back and still showing 2. And I'm like, oh, fuck, we're just going to get streamlined right here. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Cole gets out, escapes. Should be 1 point. Nothing there. And at this point, his dad's over on the sideline because all his matches that he was coaching's done. He's screaming at the ref, too. He's like, are you going to give him escape points right there? He's like, I held my hand up for 1. He said, no, you didn't. He's like, I'm videotaping the whole match. No, you didn't. I can show you.
Yeah.
So the match is over, and we're walking off. And as we're walking away, I'm just like, God, this is freaking ridiculous. And the kid goes, what was that? I said, nothing, man. And the dad goes, you know, what's ridiculous is that coaches are having to call out points and call out how you're supposed to referee the match. He's not going to win that match regardless. He's going to lose, period. He said, but it's still ridiculous that this is the state tournament and we're having to do this. I said, that's what happens when you get a bunch of kids that are refereeing that ain't even hit freaking puberty yet. Yeah. I just kept walking. That kid said, what was that again? I said, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm beyond tired. I'm not fighting with you. We're not doing this. Walk away. No, you just keep running your mouth. I see how, bye. I don't even know hear what he's saying. I said, kid, shut up. Don't call me a kid. I said, you need to walk away. And at this point, there's a couple of parents, a couple other coaches just kind of looking at me like, I'm not going to hit this kid. I'm not going to say nothing.
Yeah.
I said, you need to walk away. He said one more word. I said, shut up. His face just kind of lit up. Tears start formulating in this kid's eyes, and he walks away. Oh, my God,
yeah, what is going on?
I just fucking rammed that little silver spoon down his fucking esophagus.
I was so mad. That felt great.
So I'll just walk away. He goes and gets this older ref, and his eyes get huge, and all of a sudden they start heading towards the head table. It's like, yeah, fuck. This older ref that looks like he's probably just got done eating about 27 hot dogs walks over, real lethargic. He's like, you can't cuss at refs, man. I was like, I've literally videotaped the whole entire match, had the video running at the end of it. If you want to watch it, you can. I'm not going to cuss around any of these children. No, sir. I said, now I'll get heated and I'll say some stupid stuff, but I'm never going to cuss around
That's what
anybody.
he thought.
And if that's what's being said, I have a problem with it.
Yeah,
I said, one of my parents that's right here who I respect more than anybody in this world is a pastor. And I'm not even going to use that type of language in front of him. So y'all need to get your facts straight. So they go to the head table. I'm like, now we're going to get docked points and God knows whatever else. And the dude that's over all these wrestlers here is probably about 65. Looks like he's juiced roids about 45 times. Nipples hanging out of his freaking tidy like spandex shirt the whole entire time. He comes over, he's like, do we have a problem? I'm like, yes, we do.
You can't help it. You can't help it.
And he's like, why are you cussing at my 16-year-old referee over here? I'm like, never cussed at him. Said, y'all need to get your facts straight. He said, well, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, 99% of the time, I'm going to take their word over yours. I said, I know I'm getting railroaded before you even come over here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
I said,
anyway.
it doesn't matter what I say. I said, yeah, I'm mad. Yeah, I said some stuff. I didn't cuss at your boy. And I will say this. I did say, matter of fact, this kid should hit puberty before he's refereeing a state tournament.
Yeah.
I said, that was said. Now, if that's foul language, then I apologize. I said, he probably needs some thicker skin. He said, well, how about I call the sheriff's deputies?
What?
I was like, what? I'm like, we're calling the cops because I said the kid's balls need to drop. And at this point, the kid's mom that I'm coaching comes up and like her face is purple. She's like, you need to walk away, sir. He's like, how about I have both of you escorted out of here?
What the fuck?
She said, how about you go and call them and make up whatever story you need to make up? It doesn't matter what we're going to say, but it's really hysterical right now.
Yeah.
You're a grown-ass man over all this stuff. You're holding up all of these interactions here because you got a little boy over there that doesn't know how to handle his emotions. He said, ma'am, you need to leave this facility right now. She said, I ain't going anywhere until my kid wrestles his final match. And when he went at her, I started stepping back up again. She said, go away.
Yeah, she's got it.
She had her elbow in my sternum and just pushed me back. She's like, bye.
Yeah.
I was like, no. She said, no, bye. He's like, yeah, you need to walk away, sir. I said, you need to shut the fuck up.
God.
And his eyes got big. I said, now I'm cursing.
Yeah.
So I walk away, and it just so happened I got to watch another kid I like watching, wrestle on the other opposite side. I went over and stood behind a bleacher and watched him wrestle his championship match. And I'm sitting all the way over there on the other side, and I'm watching all these old-ass referees sit over there and just stare at me and point at me. And I just start waving at them.
Fucking no, yeah.
Like, I'm just, at this point, I'm just jabbing it in and turning it. So I made it the whole entire day.
We call that heat in the business.
12-hour day, and I get to the last 45 minutes. And, this is the first time I've ever taken one kid. I'm like, this is my focus as a wrestling coach.
Yeah, I like that.
And it turns out the kid got fifth. He got to the fifth, sixth match. His dad had to actually coach him in that one. He got fifth. So everything worked out. The girl that he was wrestling.
Was he all right with getting fifth?
Yeah. He was actually okay. I think he realized that this bracket was insane.
It was nuts.
And he was so tired. I think he wrestled 8 matches.
Yeah, that's stupid.
The girl that he was wrestling actually had a mark on her back. This is another thing that was absolutely insane. I know none of this is about work, and I'm going to tile this in here in a minute.
Like we don't care.
He's my kid that I'm responsible for is wrestling some other kid, and the kid just keeps reaching up. You'll see a lot of kids like head tap, like put their hands up on the other kid's head, trying to get their hands to come up so they can shoot at their kneecaps. It's just like line of sight thing. This kid's not head tapping. He's like straight up like Chuck Norris using the heel of his hand, busting the kids in the nose. Busting my kid's nose. We had to go to blood time for a few minutes. He ends up wearing him out and beating the kid anyway. Come over to the side, and another coach goes, I'm so glad that your boy won that match. I was like, yeah. I said, that kid's a pain in the ass. He's like, he's a dirty wrestler. I'm like, yeah, he kept popping him in the nose. He's like, oh, you don't know the beginning of it. And he said, honey, come here. And his daughter comes over, and he pulls the back of her singlet back, and you can see fang marks where the kid has bit her.
What the fuck?
And broken the skin. Bit her.
So
the girl, I watched her wrestle another match where they had to stop the match because there's blood getting on other people, because I don't know if it's from the same wound, but she's bleeding from her back. They had to bandage her back, bring, some table workers over. They had like emergency staffing over. They had to clean up the mat and stuff. So I wasn't over there for the final match, but it comes to find out for him to wrestle for 5th place, he's wrestling that girl. And at one point, there's blood everywhere. They're like, she's bleeding everywhere. And you need to stop the match and clean it up. And that same jackass 16-year-old referee comes over and goes, oh, that's crayon. So she's got a bandage on her back that is saturated red in blood. Did she go over there and get a tattoo like between rounds? Like, it said it was crayon.
Where'd it come from?
That girl's back, apparently. Her back is made of Crayola.
Why was there crayon on the mat?
Dude, fuck if I know. They literally told the one of our other coaches that it was crayon on that mat.
I don't get that.
No.
Just not want to. That. So I seen a couple videos like that were sent, and they weren't getting down for pins. Like the refs weren't getting on the ground for pins. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's pinned. So it looks a lot like he's pinned.
There was a couple situations you can even watch him go, oh shit, this kid's back's flush.
Yeah.
One of them, my son, like literally does a hip toss with a headlock locked in. The kid hits the mat and puts his hands over his eyes and just starts crying and is not moving. And the referee's just standing
and the
there.
referee, I know. The
He's
kid
like,
yeah, because I think he got DDT'd. The kid got like,
listen, when my kid went like with a head toss, like a hip toss, we call it a cowboy, and had his arm around the kid's head, squeezing it, like popping his it, and then does a hip drag and throws it, and that kid lands on top of his head.
Yeah, like tombstones.
His head hits the mat like you would take an ink pen and like tap it on a table to make the ink pen eject out. Like you
it straight just donk off
the kid literally just lays there and starts screaming, and the referee's nowhere to be found. It takes him like 2 or 3 seconds before he's like, "Oh shit, I got to pin this."
Oh,
kid
he's
out.
pinned. Oh, turns out.
And then that kid gets up and he's like, "I can hear bells. I hear bells." And my son goes, "Huh, huh." I gave him a concussion. I was like, that's not something to be proud of. Please walk away.
I don't know. It feels like you should be a little bit proud of it.
Man.
But
I gave a kid a concussion.
I'm still waiting for you to tie it in. I'm really I want it to happen. I want to see it.
Oh, how it ties back to work?
Yeah, I want to see the good podcasting.
Okay, here's the segue moment. All right. Louisville is 3.5 hours away from here. All right. We didn't get done with everything until about 8 o'clock. Stop, eat, drive, travel. 5-year-old and 10-year-old have to have 3 piss breaks. I'm thirsty.
You can feed them 10 times.
Yeah, so we get home, have to go to my mom's, pick up the dog and everything. It's like 1:30 before we're home and settled. And then at that point, I'm so tired, I'm not sleepy. So I'd already pre-gamed that on Friday and said, I'm taking Monday off.
Yeah.
Right. So take it off, and then I get to realizing last night at 1:30, fuck, I got to close payroll in the morning.
Dude, you do that so much.
I was like, I have got to close payroll in the morning, and I'm supposed to be off. Okay. I was like, I can either do that right now or not.
Yeah.
I was like, that ain't happening. Or I can get up in the morning and do it. I have to have it in by 12 noon.
Yeah.
So I get up at like 7:30, and I message my boss, like, I'm going back to bed. You know, I got up to help my wife with some stuff before she was heading out to work. She didn't have the time to take off, so she actually went to work this morning. She's psychotic, but I kept both the kids home. I was like, I've got to.
Don't worry about the copyright music in the background.
The background's fantastic.
It's always playing here. We're gonna get definitely this part of the show. This part of the show is not going to get published.
No, we're going to get hit for that. So I get up probably finally about 10:30. I'm going through. I've got 6 people on my team that cannot record any of their punches. So every paycheck cycle, I have to recreate their whole entire time card, which is not their fault. It's just our software's janky. We've been bought out, merged like 2-3 times.
Yeah, who knows?
Nothing works. So I get all that in. We've got a couple of them that I got to wait on. I end up working in the closed payroll from 10:30 all the way up to like 11:55. So naturally, while you're there waiting on that, all of your work communications, email, Slack, which is one of our messaging services, all this stuff's sitting there. And people, like, even though I have it placed that I am offline, it's not showing me online in the messaging apps.
Yeah.
And it literally has 3 giant O's next to my name that if you hover over top of it, says out of office, will return Tuesday.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Pop you with messages.
So I got people, from other departments. My people that I manage are really, really, really respectful. They will only reach out like if the world's burning down.
Yeah.
I appreciate them so much for that. Other people in other departments, my biggest pet peeve in this world, and this is how it all ties in. This is, it's on my golden list of 3 things that I hate most about work, and we'll come into those in future episodes. But this is probably number 2. if I'm not here or I'm not supposed to be here, do not hit me with this statement. I know you're out of office today, but
yeah.
Oh my God.
See, what's funny is I do a lot of those.
Oh.
Because
you're IT, you have to do it.
Yeah, so I like leave, but mine are more like, I know you're at office today, but when you come back in on Monday, make sure you pick this up before you go to your desk.
No,
those are mine.
Mine are, I know you're out of office today, but if you have the bandwidth or you're around your computer at some point today.
On your fucking day off.
Can you do this?
Yeah, mine's more of a message for you to pick up when you come back.
Or like, hey, my message will say, or this is the one that's even worse. Say I'll pop it up, or I send a message where, other departments and stuff can see it that says, I'm incredibly sick. I'm dying. Like, I am giving birth to liquid shit diarrhea 5 times an hour right now.
That happens a couple times a week.
I'm dying. I will be back tomorrow. It's like, oh my God, I hate that you're so sick. I hope that you feel better. You need to rest.
But will you do this for me first?
But the fucking but.
But I forgot to clock in.
Like, I even messaged, so, fan of the show, Rob, I'm going to hire you, man.
Gronkowski, yeah.
Well, he's a Florida fan, so I don't know if he has any kind of affiliations to Gronk, but shouting him out. I messaged him this morning. I'm like, bro, what's the team's like today? Like, just help me out. Help me out.
Please don't make me do this shit.
I was like, I can't. I'm going to try every way in the world that
you have a hard time disconnecting too.
I have a hard time turning it off.
Yeah.
I really do. And me and him's talked about that before. He knows. And he's like, listen, dude, unplug best you can. Go, I got it. I'll watch it. Him and April, another one on my team, they help me out a ton with the stuff like that. I've got a bunch on the team that do that. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you go do you.
Remember when Eric yelled at you last week for saying people's names?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I know he fucking yelled at you. I was like,
fuck him, dude. Go back to Korea. Go back to Korea.
Listen, don't. I can't handle it. I can't go back.
What was the problem with saying people's names?
Oh, man, he's just watching out for you, I think.
I'm not saying that Robert's a sack of shit.
I know, it was awesome.
I'm like, Robert helped me out, and I really appreciate what he's doing.
Did you see that clip that...
If I'm going to talk shit about somebody, I ain't going to use their damn name.
Did you see that clip I cut of it?
Dude, I didn't listen to that
The TikTok. You should... You got to listen to the clip.
I am so disconnected from that.
You got to listen to it.
I refuse.
Oh, man.
Listen, I remember at one point, like literally, I was actively trying to say something and actually actively contribute to the episode. I'm literally sitting there talking, and there's like 6 other people around the table. Nothing going on. I was like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's the best part of the episode.
You can hear. I heard that part. That part's left in there. You can hear me say, "No one's listening to this shit." I just give up.
No one's listening to this
because I went to check. Because I remember exactly what like the time stamp of where I was at. Because I tried to look at Keisha. I was like, "What's the time?"
Yeah. I had to edit through that whole piece. I had to edit because you could. It was just fucking jumbled shit.
Because then I got mad and started talking about shit I shouldn't.
I deleted the transcript because the transcript was so much bullshit. The transcript was just
I'd say that AI was just
that transcript was just words. It was like stacks of verbs on top of each other.
It was bad.
I think it was the most fun I've ever had.
I'm telling you, dude. Like in the future, like I need to think about that. Like before I take off on a Monday. Like, I know I've always said in the past that I'd rather take off a Monday than a Friday. As long as it's not a payroll closure.
Payroll. You've done that a couple of times.
And every single time it fucks me.
Yeah, and you're like, I got to do fucking payroll. Or can't you teach somebody to do it?
No, I'm the only one that's got the credentials on my team to do it.
Fuck them. That's stupid.
Or see, I'm a standalone department. Like,
I get
other departments that have like 6 teams.
Yeah, I get it.
There's like 6 coaches that can help each other. I ain't got that.
You ain't got shit.
Now, my boss will try to help me, but like, she's so disconnected from a lot of it too. Like, and plus I've got everything set up. Like I've got a guy from another company that I work with. Like, now obviously we're multiple different,
lines of business,
not lines of business,
Candy.
Partners, basically contracted partners that work for this one client.
Right.
We were supposed to be like rival contractors, but literally like me and this dude have like linked arms, and I love him more than anything in this world. I help him with his team. He helps me with mine as much as we can.
Well, that works out.
Literally the clients came to us and was like, it kind of makes us uncomfortable sometimes how close you all are. I was like, well, you know what it is. But naturally, he's another company, so he can't help me with that shit. But
I'm just trying to get the job done.
It's just weird. I mean, it's just us two,
Yeah.
And then that whole entire department. So
there's not a lot of us, and it's like if we were everybody in the call center where I'm at, if all of my IT department was off, I don't know what would happen. Like there's shit that has to get done. It's like if it doesn't get done, then bad stuff happens.
I started rambling and I realized what I was going to say about the guy that I'm talking about from the other partner.
Yeah.
He is a wizard inside of Slack.
Oh, okay. Slack is the community chat.
It's like a chat.
The work chat.
It's like Teams. It's like Teams or anything like that. Anything that you use. It's a messaging app, but it has like different team channels, different things that you can work out of.
Security internal. Yeah.
You can make workflows inside of it. So he's like the god of workflows. He can have them integrate into back end like Google Sheets.
Yeah. So
I've got workflows set for my team now. It's like if they missed a punch, instead of them messaging me and say, hey, I missed a punch, they just go ahead and click a workflow and put it in. And it feeds to a spreadsheet.
Nice.
If they want to put in a day off that I need to go in and approve for them, they put it in a workflow. It puts it on a secondary tab of that spreadsheet. So I go through it and I just color code in green what I've completed.
That's fucking awesome.
What's future dated, I'll code yellow.
Nice.
And everything else I'll leave blank. So when it comes time to close payroll, I'm like, if it's not green or it's not yellow and it's non-color coordinated, this is my action items to close payroll.
Yeah.
And it gives me just a check sheet to go down. Which is, if I didn't have that, it'd be 5 hours for me to close payroll. Because I got those 6 that I have to create timesheets for.
Boom, technology.
So they use Workflow as their freaking broken timekeeping app.
Yeah. We had to use Slack the other day at work because we use like O365 exclusively, like Microsoft Office. We use all Office shit.
See, I miss Office. We're transitioning to everything Google, and I hate it.
Oh shit, yeah. We use. I like Google Sheets, okay, but Google Sheets is like
it's not Excel.
Yeah, it's not Excel.
It's not Excel.
And web based can cause problems. Cache and cookies can cause issues.
Google Slides is not PowerPoint.
No, Google Slides is not PowerPoint at all.
It's not even close to PowerPoint.
No, it's not PowerPoint. It's probably the weakest form of all of them.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say Slides is Slides, but Sheets is comparable enough to Excel that you
and I think Google Docs
it.
is fine. I think Word and Docs is fine.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. But when it comes to PowerPoint,
I think
Slides is not even close.
Yeah, you're right.
I hate it.
Luckily, I don't use those. You use them. That sucks.
Dude, I use freaking Slides now to
That'd be my bane.
Business review.
No, thank you.
I still don't use Google Sheets.
I like what I do now.
I use Sheets, like I said, for my workflows that he's built for me, my buddy. But like when it comes to like building out data to put on a business review, if you look at it, like if it's a screen capture, it's Excel.
Yeah, well, nobody's surprised that you're good at Excel.
I'm not even great in Excel. I would say I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like a 4.
I took a YouTube class one time and it was pretty good. It helped me a lot.
It helps a lot.
Like I watched like a 3-hour. It was like a 3-hour YouTube like a dude teaching Excel, and I learned so much.
Listen, you want to talk about Excel and wrestling? You need to go get Chris Mullins.
I was gonna say, I think
you need to get him.
That, man. Can you get him on Show and Color?
I think I can get him on Show and Color.
Yeah. I think
me and him have been talking for years about doing something.
Well, if nothing else, he'd come look at the wrestling figures.
And he's got the AEW side.
Yeah, I know.
He's passionate AEW.
Yeah.
Now he's started working back over to WWE. Me and him has been talking about it a whole lot because of, I guess, really kind of the Punk angle, where Punk was getting reintegrated. That AEW part of it has kind of captured him and pulled him over. Plus the Vince scandal,
So I got added to
2 execs, 1 cup. That's really got him going.
Oh yeah. 2 execs, 1 cup. I got added to this group chat. That's a bunch of like people in the business. Like one of them's like a AEW photographer, and like
media relations people.
A lot of them have worked in the business or work in the business. So like their inside info, like the stuff they say is like, I don't know, it holds more water for me just because they've been, they're in the business, and the shit they say about people and like about Cody being legitimate good and stuff. And the shit that Vince is like, yeah, everybody knows that. Everybody just knew all that shit was going on. Like, they were just waiting for it to come out.
I keep seeing these articles coming out and stuff, and I truly believe them about like Triple H and Shane.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, we know he's doing horrible stuff.
Yeah.
But the man's entrenched.
Yeah, that's what. Well, that's why Shane left,
He's ruling
right?
the fucking world from Titan Tower, and there's nothing we can do.
Shane was gonna be Triple H.
Yeah,
right. That's what Shane. That's who Shane was gonna be.
Groomed for it for years.
Yeah, Shane. That's what Shane was gonna be. But Shane turns out the wrestlers loved Shane, and Shane was like backstage guy, and like because the shit he did, right? Because the chances he took, and like he showed that he'd take
40-foot flop.
And Vince's were not real flops, whatever, not real bumps. But
the worst sale of a stunner ever.
That was the funniest sale of a stunner of all time.
It was bad.
It was the worst. He had one or two good sales, but that one where he was just fell straight down right after Pat sold a great one.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's my.
That's one of the best ones.
That's my pump shit of the week, man. Let me tell you.
That's one of the best ones.
We're going to Raw a week from today.
I'm glad McAfee's on now, man.
And
how long do you think that runs, though?
He's a little bit rusty. Like,
oh yeah. I'm not watching it right now because I don't have a means to watch. I had YouTube TV for a while. I don't have cable. But I will watch TikTok clips.
Yeah, he needs the time watching the matches and be able to call. Like, Cole is so good because he's like, he knows when the match is going to end.
Years.
He knows when the match is going to end and stuff. It's also kind of weird, the dynamic, because Pat was supposed to be his buddy like the whole time, and he was like when he came out and stuff. But now he's got to be Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, he's
got to be bad guy. Yeah. We won't talk much wrestling because there's another thing for that to do.
You said that we've literally spent 10 minutes on it.
I really can't help but talk wrestling all the time.
It's Monday night. Raw just went off, man.
Yeah, we watched. Clay fell asleep. There was Clay fell asleep during the final match. You know what the last match was tonight?
So I know what it was.
Yeah,
but I don't know how it got there. Where the fuck did Shinsuke come from? Like, I didn't watch any of that. Like, it's like
they made some story up about Shinsuke. Like Shinsuke at a live event, like a show in Knoxville, like a live event show, whatever he missed at Cody or something. I was like, shit happens at live events all the time. I was like, you could say that anyway. Like, shit happens. We've seen a live event, like, we've seen 2 or 3 different people do things out of character at live events. Like, I mean, like super shows and shit, not televised events.
It was like a strap match too.
It was a fucking it was a cowbell match.
Oh my god,
what is it called? The rope and that was it was the same rope that Dusty used in his match. But it was so weird because it didn't come out like that was not like a.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I was like, what did they? Usually that's like a big build up and a big plan.
So last thing, because I know this is not the show for it. This is before we close, but it's just y'all are here, so sorry.
Talk to somebody about it.
Do you feel like the opening segment? And now obviously Cody didn't get to talk. I feel like 100% that was H and all them in backstage saying we need to go out there and test and see how bad the heat is off this. We know we got 500,000 dislikes on YouTube on the video, Rock and Roman. We got to really see if this is real. So let's go ahead and let's send, Seth and Cody out here. Crowd in St. Louis won't let either one of them fucking talk. They start chanting Rocky sucks. And even McAfee's McAfee, who, like you said, who's rusty, trying to get caught up. He's like, boys, I didn't know we were going back to 96 here. And I was like, oh, shit. Or 98.
Man, you want my take? Really? I think we're all marks, man.
Yeah.
I think we're marked men. I think we're getting worked.
Oh,
and I think it might be the best work ever.
Oh,
if it is,
it's
I think it might be the best work ever. I think it's still Cody, and it's always been Cody.
So for those that are, once again, this is not the wrestling podcast, but for those that don't know, a mark is basically we're getting worked over without being known we're being worked over.
Yeah.
Wool is being pulled over our eyes and we're being sold
That's what I think.
Goods. That's not true.
And I have a lot of reasons that I don't want to talk about with a bunch of people who don't listen to, who don't watch wrestling, because it would come off.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just.
Let's just go ahead and end this episode and start another one.
Yeah. Let's end this and start a whole fuck with just get into a whole.
For those that are
episode.
interested, just wait and then click over.
Yeah. You do need to go check out the Show and Color podcast on Spotify and Google Podcast. I don't know if it got approved on Apple yet. I got to go through this whole thing again that I did the first time. So I got to go like verifications and shit.
You pushing it through Buzzsprout as well?
Yeah, it's going through the same publisher, so it'll be all the same places. Hopefully, probably not as many places, but YouTube mainly because we're doing a lot of stuff with the YouTube page. So it's going to be on there, and I'll share that as well. We got patrons this week, new patrons. Corey that we worked with. I've mentioned it to you before. Yeah.
Redheaded?
No.
Different Corey.
That's a different Corey. That's Red. Yeah, I work with him still.
That's what I was curious.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, okay. And then new one, Philip is a new one. And then Philip McRae, you know him?
Yeah, I know Phil.
Yeah. And then still got the classics. Mike is still with us. And then
get Mike on for a show, especially now that he's got that Master Chief.
Yeah, he stays so busy.
Bring him in and bring the Master
The
Chief.
fucking
with
Master
you. Like,
Chief.
Put it in here in the room.
We'll put Master Chief on the
We'll
mic.
go live with that bastard.
I'd like to do that. Travis Sturgill and Chris Hammonds and Toe. Toe still supporting us from the beginning.
Oh, listen, I watched Toe spike a walking cane this weekend so hard.
Is he so
out of
mad?
frustration, and it almost bounced up back into his grasp, and he was immediately even killing okay again.
Yeah,
I was like, God, like
he could fucking
it's an art.
Yeah, he can go off about it.
Last thing, and then we'll close. Like if you listen to Korea episode, I mean, it's abundantly clear that our friend Toe is Jewish.
It wasn't abundantly clear to Nick.
I know it wasn't abundantly clear to Nick, but Toe is Jewish. And he comes over and stands in behind my wife in line at the concession stand yesterday at the tournament. He's sitting here. He's like, "Oh my God, they got hot dogs. This is awesome." And she kind of looked at him. She said, "I looked at him," and she's like, "I was trying to debate on whether or not to say it." And then he looked at me, and she's like, "I think he caught it." And he looked. He said, "These are pork hot dogs, ain't they?" She's like, "This whole stand's pork." He went, "Well, this is not where I park my car." Turns around, walks away. She said, "I don't have a lot of interactions with him." She said, "But it was hilarious." He's just like, "Nope, can't be here." And he was
God, I love him. He thinks that nobody wants him on the show, and I was like, "Mike, we want you on the show all the fucking time. You come on the show all the time."
Listen, I love Mike dearly.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, the Facebooks. Probably make the list.
I'd love to have an episode here soon to do like mailbag.
Oh yeah, we need send shit.
I've got some that we can read out.
Yeah, nobody sent anything. Nobody sent anything in a while outside of just a couple messages. So we'll get on there and get some of them. And then, send us stuff on Instagram. You can comment on stuff on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Remember, you can listen free on Amazon Prime. Just trying to get Amazon to give us some money for people to be on the show. Yeah. And then go listen to the Show Color podcast, the wrestling podcast. Ryan's going to be on there too. Rhino, you got anything else?
I am going to bed.
Yeah, we're all going to go to bed. Remember, that ain't nobody stopped you from quitting your job. But you. Really miss Keisha taking pictures.